Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Today's story takes us inside a dealership that believed time, pressure, authority, and invented fees would be enough to force a sale. When that didn't work, they escalated. Not with better service, but with intimidation. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. A dealership tried to scam me and threatened to sue. A couple of years ago, during that long period when buying a car felt less like a consumer transaction and more like a psychological endurance test, I was forced back into the market against my will. My old car, a small but loyal car that was getting old, still technically worked, but was doing a lot of work to make sense in that sentence. I wasn't after power, luxury, or status. I wanted something simple and so boring that I could forget about it for the next 10 years between oil changes. After weeks of obsessive research, I settled on a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. It was the smart, boring choice. It checked off every reasonable box: Toyota's reputation for dependability, practical cargo space, great hybrid mileage, and top-notch safety ratings. I'd already gone through the same thing at two other dealerships: a friendly greeting, a test drive, the "let me talk to my manager" dance, and finally the market adjustment fee, which added thousands of dollars to the price of a mass-produced car. Every time I got up, thanked them for their time, and left, which made me lose faith in basic business a little more. When I saw a Facebook ad from a Toyota dealership just inside the next county that was so bold that it looked like a glitch, I actually stopped scrolling. I clicked the message button that was part of the ad. Ben was the name of the salesman. He was friendly, laid back, and very quick to respond in the chat. I skipped all the niceties. "Ben, I need to be clear before I spend any time. Is this particular car really for sale at MSRP with no required dealer add-ons, packages, or markups? I only want to know the car's MSRP plus taxes and registration fees from the government. Can you please confirm?" His answer came up in less than a minute. "Yes, sir, you got it. This one has a straight MSRP, no required extras. We're being open about our prices." I made the choice to load both barrels. I wrote out a clear list, a dictionary of modern dealership tricks. To be very clear, I'm asking about any extended warranty, paint protection film, PPF, fabric protection, ceramic coating, VIN etching, nitrogen tire fill, door edge guards, prepaid maintenance plans, or any protection package or appearance package. Do you need to buy any of these things to get the advertised MSRP for this car? Another quick answer: nope, none of those are necessary, only the MSRP, tax, title, and license. Simple. At this point, my life experiences had made my trust so weak that it was barely there. I thought that someone was lying to me with polite, professional courtesy, so I asked one last time, this time in terms of respect for each other: "Ben, I'm going to take some time off work to drive to your dealership. I don't want to waste your time or mine. This is my last confirmation. I can walk in, agree to the MSRP plus government fees, and drive out with that exact RAV4 Hybrid with no financial surprises. Yes or no?" The reassurance was complete. "I promise you, no surprises. We'll start the paperwork and clean the car for you." I took several scrolling screenshots of the whole conversation to make sure I got his profile name, the timestamp, and every bad promise. I gave up half my vacation time the next morning and drove there. I told them my name and Ben's. The receptionist, who had a practiced smile, tapped on her computer. "Ben's finishing up with a different client. Mike will be right here to help get you started." I was led to a vinyl chair in a hospitality lounge with a huge TV showing sports highlights, and I waited for 53 minutes. At last, a man came up. Not Ben, this was Mike. "Sorry for making you wait, my friend. Ben got stuck in a long delivery. Your RAV4's getting its last vacuuming and gas fill-up. Let's get you all set." We sat at his desk. He brought up the car on his screen. The VIN was the same as the one in the ad. The MSRP was shown on the screen by the Maroney sticker. For one brief, heartwarming moment, I dared to believe in miracles. This might have been the only honest dealership within 100 miles. After that, he did the pivot. It was a physical dance of lies. He leaned back in his chair, crossed his fingers over his belt, and let out a sigh that meant we were now working together on this. "Okay, we just need to go over a few things quickly before we let you into this beauty." My internal alarm, which had been making a low hum, started to make a steady, high-pitched whine. Review what? For your complete peace of mind, the car comes with our Platinum Extended Warranty, which covers you from bumper to bumper for 10 years, and our Lifetime Paint and Interior Protection Package. We put those on all our new cars to make sure our customers are happy. It adds a lot of value and only costs about $4,200. He spoke as if he were giving a gift, a $4,200 gift that I clearly, repeatedly, and in writing said I didn't want. I have 3 written confirmations from Ben that there are no required add-ons. This says none of those are necessary. Mike's eyes went to the screen for less than a second, not to read it, but to look at it. He didn't pay attention to the evidence. With just one finger, he pushed the phone back toward me. Ben must have been wrong. He's our new guy. You're probably looking at the wrong inventory list. He smoothly moved on to the next act before I could even think of a response. Then there's the tag and database fee that you have to pay. That's exactly $600. What's a tag fee? To register, get a title, and enter our secure database. To be honest, most insurance companies won't even sell you a policy on a new car without our tag certification. It's a safety net. That was the end of the line. The change from shady sales to a clear, provable lie. Is that true? I said. My voice was flat. I grabbed my phone. Let's check. I called my insurance agent, put her on speakerphone, and asked her directly, does any insurance company need a dealership tag certification to give you a policy on a new car? Her confused, almost laughing response was worse than any anger. What? No, that's not a thing at all. We cover the VIN. Your insurance has nothing to do with the dealership. That sounds like a fee for nothing. I thanked her, hung up, and turned to Mike. He gave a tiny shrug. It's the policy of our dealership. So I left. I stood up, picked up my phone and jacket, and said, thank you for your time. That night, I did my duty as a citizen. I wrote a long 1-star review on Google. There was no emotional rant. It was a report from a doctor. I talked about the Facebook ad, quoted Ben's promises word for word, wrote down the 53-minute wait, named Mike, listed the fake $4,200 in required add-ons and the $600 tag lie, and told how my insurance agent debunked it live on speakerphone. I only used facts, times, and direct quotes. I posted it and mentally closed the book. The first letter came less than a week later. The envelope was plain white and had the name of the dealership in the corner. There was only one sheet of heavy bond paper inside, and it was full of cowardly fake legal language. It was from the office of the general manager. It said that my review had defamatory statements and misrepresentations that had hurt the dealership's reputation and business interests significantly. It told me to remove the review in its entirety within 7 days. The most important sentence, which was clearly meant to scare me, said, we are currently assessing the full extent of the damages and will pursue all available legal avenues should you fail to comply. I read it 2 times. It's important to note that it did not say that any of the facts in my review were wrong. It didn't say I lied about Ben's messages, the add-ons, or the tag fee. It just said that telling the truth had hurt someone and I should stop. I didn't feel scared. Instead, I felt a rush of focused energy. They hadn't forgotten. They had waited, maybe hoping that time would make me weak before they made this planned bluff. I made my first move to protect myself. I changed my first Google review. I put this at the very top in bold. Update. Date. I got a formal letter from Toyota dealership threatening to take me to court if I don't take down this honest review. They don't disagree with any of the facts in this document. This attempt to scare people is now part of the public record. After that, I went on the attack. I put together a full dossier, a single PDF file with the title Valley View Toyota, Deceptive Practices and Intimidation, that was saved as a bookmark. It had all of the Facebook chat screenshots with clear dates and notes, a copy of the Google review I wrote, a scanned copy of the letter they sent threatening them. I sent the whole package, including a pointed cover letter, not to Toyota's general customer service email address, but to their corporate legal compliance department and the regional vice president for dealership operations. I found the email address for the latter after a lot of searching. Not only was Toyota's corporate response quick, it was also very precise. My phone rang within 48 hours. A woman named Amy from Toyota's North American headquarters introduced herself in a calm but serious voice. She had my file open. Mr. OP, I've looked over your materials. First, I need you to show me the Facebook ad exchange. She asked very specific, probing questions like the exact times, managers' names, and the exact wording of the tag fee claim. She listened without saying a word while I talked about the insurance agent on the phone. There was a short telling silence after I was done. Thank you, she said, and her voice was clearly cold. This is completely unacceptable and goes against both Toyota standards and our franchise agreement. This will be taken care of right away. You won't hear from that dealership again." And I never did. Months later, I heard a little bit about what happened after that from someone I knew in the industry who sometimes worked with their financing department. The general manager who signed the threat letter, who turned out to be the real sales manager, had been let go. Not quit, not moved, let go. Toyota Corporate had done a full, unannounced audit of Valley View's sales practices, advertising, and financial records. I was told that the cleanup was thorough and unpleasant. I finally bought my RAV4 Hybrid from a small family-owned dealership in the state next door. The experience was strangely normal. MSRP, no tricks, a handshake, and coffee that was actually hot. The car was everything I wanted, quiet, fast, and easy to forget. All they had to do was sell a car for the price they boldly advertised. Instead, they chose a path of layered lies, and when they were caught, they used the blunt tool of fear to get what they wanted. They thought that people were lazy, forgetful, and easily scared into silence. The scariest thing is how sure they were that it would work. They thought you'd either give in or leave quietly and forget about it. The letter threatening you wasn't about the truth, it was about scaring you. And the way you dealt with it, by updating the review, adding the letter, and then escalating with a full paper trail, is how you beat this. Dealerships keep doing it because most people don't have the energy to fight it. When Toyota Corporate steps in, you know this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a dealership that was doing shady things until someone stood up to them. And our next story. They kept stealing our deliveries. Our neighborhood is the kind where if you sneeze loudly in your garage, 5 minutes later, the HOA chat will have a poll. Should we ban sneezing after 10 p.m.? I live in a normal American suburb where everyone is overly polite in person and way too brave in the group chat. And about a month ago, Porch pirate season started, package thieves. At first it was small stuff. My neighbor Meg lost a box of cat food. Then the guy across the street, headphones. Me, a cheap toolkit I ordered just in case. 3 or 4 cases in a week, and suddenly everyone's on edge. Everyone suspects everyone, and the delivery drivers started hiding packages like they're playing hide the treasure, behind a planter, behind a chair, practically under the doormat. I posted in the HOA chat because we're a managed community with high security standards. I wrote as neutrally as possible. Hey everyone, packages are disappearing. Maybe we could put up a warning, add cameras at the entrance, at least send a notice to residents. The reply came almost instantly from Karen. Yes, that Karen, an HOA board member, a professional human rubber stamp who talks like she's signing a verdict. HOA is not responsible for private deliveries. We recommend picking up packages in person. Thank you for your understanding. Meg immediately exploded in the chat. Seriously? My cat food bag vanished and your advice is to pick it up in person? It weighs as much as my ex. Someone posted a meme of a raccoon in a hoodie. Karen reacted with a thumbs up and wrote, "Please refrain from inappropriate jokes." Okay, not their problem, fine. Then I decided to make it my problem. No vigilantism, no traps, no stupid stuff, just camera footage, facts, and the right phone calls. I had a doorbell camera, and I knew one thing: porch pirates don't steal packages, they steal opportunity. Make the opportunity risky, and they disappear. But I didn't just want to scare them off, I wanted to end it. The plan was simple: make bait that looks valuable but contains nothing important. Add a tracker so I can see the route. I grabbed a cheap item from the store, something like a charging cable and a plastic organizer, about $15 total. Then the tracker, small, legal, normal, find my keys type. I tied it to the inner box so it wouldn't rattle or fall out, checked the battery, checked that it showed location, and most importantly, I put a note inside. Not a threat, not "I'll find you," just dark humor, something that makes the brain go, "Oh." The note said, "Congratulations, if you're reading this, you just stole an empty box. Surprise without confetti. Have a great day." I made the box look like a real delivery, tape, label. I even printed a fake warehouse marker. No company names, no impersonation, just a sticker that looks like logistics. At 10:12 a.m., I put it on the porch and pretended to leave. In reality, I worked from home, laptop, coffee, and the camera feed open. 20 minutes later, perfect footage. On video, you see a woman in sunglasses and a baseball cap walking down the sidewalk with that confident stride of people who consider themselves respectable. She looks around, not nervously, more like an owner checking her territory. She walks up, picks up the box like she'd been expecting it, and calmly walks away. No running, no mask, no panic. I hit save video, check the timestamp, 10:34. Opened the tracker app and started drawing the route from my house down the main street, a turn by the playground, and then to the corner house. I took a screenshot, then another, then another. Every few minutes, because in stories like this, the funniest part isn't emotions, it's the timeline. 10:34, box taken. 10:41, tracker stopped at house number. 10:55, tracker moved deeper into the neighborhood. 11:03, tracker returned to the same address. She didn't just mix it up. She did a loop, dropped something off, or picked something up and came back. I zoomed in on the camera image, sunglasses, cap, but the body language, the walk, and one tiny detail, a fitness band with a bright strap. I'd seen that strap at HOA meetings. And then it hit me so obviously I actually laughed. It was Karen. The same Karen, HOA isn't responsible. Stop joking. Thank you for understanding. Okay. I didn't go to her house, didn't knock, didn't confront. I did the thing people like that hate the most. Official action. No drama. I called the police non-emergency line calmly. Hi, I'd like to report a package theft. I have doorbell video, a timeline, and a tracker inside the box with a serial number. I can send the materials. The operator didn't even ask. Are you sure? He just said, great, that helps a lot. Stay put, an officer will contact you. An hour later, an officer arrived, watched the video, asked for the tracker screenshots, wrote down the serial number. I showed him the live location sitting on one house. Do you know who that is? He asked. I shrugged like I barely knew anyone in the neighborhood. I think so, but I don't want to assume anything. Here's the video, here's the route, here's the address where the tracker is right now. He nodded with that look of someone who's seen everything and is now thinking, of course, in the quiet suburb, it's the rule enforcer stealing the packages. He left. I went back to my laptop and opened the HOA chat. Karen was actively typing. Reminder, do not leave packages unattended. I didn't respond. I just stared at it and swallowed my laughter with my coffee. That evening, I got a call. This is Officer Ramirez. We have an update. Your box was found. The tracker too. I inhaled, and he paused like he was in a TV show. Turns out there were other people's items in that house, several packages, opened boxes, some with labels. We're working on it. I hung up and just sat there for a minute, because there's a difference between I lost a small thing and someone has a storage unit of stolen stuff at home. The next day, the HOA chat turned into a theater performance. First, Karen posted, someone mistakenly took a box from my porch. If it's yours, please message me privately. Meg immediately, mistakenly. Interesting how mistakenly you ended up with boxes with different names. Karen, I thought it was mine. I order online a lot. People make mistakes. Then Tom, the quiet neighbor who rarely talks, but when he does, it's like a hammer. A mistake is grabbing the wrong ketchup at the store. Doing it for weeks and carrying it home isn't a mistake, Karen. An hour later, another neighbor posted, police were at Karen's house. If you're missing packages, check your orders. Karen vanished from the chat, just silence. And 2 days later came what I consider the best part, not the returned items, not the gossip, not the scandal, an official HOA statement. Dry as always. HOA board member Karen N. has resigned for personal reasons. Personal reasons. Yep, an empty box with a tracker is extremely personal. Later, we found out, because neighborhoods don't keep secrets, that she took a deal, returns/compensation, fines, and community service. No connections, no, but I'm on the board. Because when there's a video, a route, a serial number, and a pile of other people's stuff, baseball cap magic and I thought it was mine don't work anymore. A week later, I walked outside and saw a new poster on the bulletin board by the mailboxes. Report suspicious activity. Package theft is a crime. I smiled because it was posted by the same HOA that told us not our problem. Meg walked up holding the cat food bag she finally received. You knew something, didn't you? She squinted. I made the most innocent face in the world. I just picked up my package in person like they recommended. And honestly, the sweetest part of the story isn't even that the thief got caught. It's that it didn't look like revenge. It looked like common sense. No threats, no scenes, just facts, a timeline, and one surprise without confetti. Karen wanted it to be not an HOA problem? Okay, then it became a police problem. She thought he stole the parcel, but in fact he stole a subscription to Consequences. Her biggest mistake, clicking express delivery for evidence. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.